Sketching the graph of the exponential function. First of all, you need to remember that exponential function is the same like indices function. The concept, because exponential function comes from indices function where the base is e. Now we look first roughly at the sketching part. For example, fx equals to a to the power of x, given that x must be all real numbers and the values of a, which is the base, must be greater than 1. The first step is here. You need to know that for all cases of fx equals to a power of x, fx must be greater than 0. The value of fx akan sentiasa lebih besar daripada 0, takkan kurang daripada 0. You can try yourself. For example, you boleh kira contohnya fx equal to 3 power of x. Baik, you ambil apa sahaja nilai x, gantikan dalam function, you akan dapat nilai fx ini semua lebih besar daripada 0. You can try yourself. Right? This is the first step. And then for the second step, you kena cari nilai fx when x equal to 0. Right? For example, for this case, when x equals to 0, the value of fx is a to the power of 0. f0 is a power of 0, which is 1. Do you understand? Second step. Now we go to the third step. Right. For the third step, when x approaching infinity, fx, okay, let's say fx, for example, right, we take 3 power of x. Right. Now you substitute the value of x here with infinity. As you have learned during chapter 1, what is infinity? Infinity bila nombor tu terlalu besar. You boleh tekan calculator 3 power of 1 million, 3 power of 1 million, you dapat berapa? Nombor dia akan jadi terlalu besar juga, betul tak? Sebab 3 power of 1 million, 3 is too big the value. So the value of fx automatically akan approaching to infinity. Understand? Now for the last step, ingatlah, satu kita check bila x approaching infinity, so satu lagi kita check bila x approaching negative infinity. Bila x approaching negative infinity, same, you tukarkan x ini dengan negative infinity. Okay, contohnya kan f 1 million negative 1 million is equal to 3 power of negative 1 million. You belajar hukum indeks, you boleh tukar jadi 1 over 3 power of 1 million. Okay. You kira calculator, 1 divide by bigger number. Anything divide by big number, very big number, dia akan dapat nilai dia akan jadi lebih kecil. Sangat kecil sampai dia approaching 0. That's why as x approaching negative infinity, fx will be approaching 0. Do you understand all the 4 steps? Now we go to the sketching graph. For sketching graph from all the 4 steps, the first step, fx greater than 0. What is fx greater than 0 here? Okay, fx greater than 0 here meaning we are finding the horizontal asymptote. Okay, this might be new for you. For your information, bila graf melibatkan exponential atau indices, dia akan wujud satu garis putus-putus atau boundary di mana kita panggil dia sebagai horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote ini memberi maksud graf itu tak akan melepasi line y equals to 0 tu. Sebab graf tu dia hanya mengapproaching sahaja. Okay, inilah horizontal asymptote dia. Understand? Itu sebab step pertama kena cari. Dan step kedua, bila x 0, y equal to 1. Inilah reason dia. You plot di sini. Okay. Do you understand? Step 1 dan step 2. Okay, now step 3. Bila x approaching infinity. X approaching infinity, you belajar chapter 1, infinity to your right. Okay, so as x approaching infinity, the function will approaching to positive infinity. Positive infinity, y dia naik ke atas. Tarik macam ni. Faham? Okay. And then bila x approaching negative infinity, okay, the value of y dia approaching 0. Ingat dia approaching saja, dia tak akan cross pun. For this type, where fx equals to a power of x, x must be all real numbers and the value of a, which is the base, must be between 0 and 1. Okay, the first step same ya. Alright, for example kita ambil antara 0 dan 1 ya. Fx equal to 0.5 power of x. You boleh masukkan semua jenis nilai x, positif ke negatif. Nilai fx itu mesti akan dapat lebih besar daripada 0. You can calculate yourself. That's why the value of fx must always be greater than 0 for all real values. Understand? Alright. Now we go to the second step. When x equals to 0, fx equals to 1. Why? Because same ya, fx equals to a power of x. You sub a to 0, dapat 1. For the second step, do you understand? Right, now to the third step. When x approaching positive infinity, fx equals to 0.5 power of x. Alright, you tukarkan x tu dengan nilai yang terlalu besar. Okay. Nah, kalau you kira, dia akan jadi berapa? Dia akan jadi terlalu kecil sampai dia approaching to 0. Betul tak? Jadi that's why fx approaching to 0. Okay. And then for the last step, as x approaching negative infinity, you boleh sub juga negative 1 million. Bila you sub into the function, kita tengok nilai fx dia akan jadi terlalu besar. Itu kita kata fx dia approaching positive infinity. Okay, for the third and fourth step ini, you tak perlu hafal. Kalau you nak hafal pun boleh, tapi you fahamkan. Cara nak faham atau paling senang, you try masukkan nombor. You boleh nampak. Okay, jangan hafal sahaja, hafal confirm lupa. Cuba fahamkan. Okay, now we go to the sketching graph. The first step, what is the horizontal asymptote? Y equals to Z. So here. Faham? Okay. And then when x 0, fx is 1 here. The third step, when x approaching positive infinity, fx must approaching to 0 here. Okay, and then when x approaching negative infinity, fx akan pergi ke positive infinity. So selesai graph. Do you understand that? Example 5.29, sketch the graph of the function below and state the domain and range of fx. Y equals to e power of 2x plus 1. Now, what is the first step? Yes. First step, we check for the horizontal asymptote. If you look carefully, the function is y equals to e2x plus 1. Okay, you know already this value must always be greater than 0. Understand? So fx must always be greater than 0, but here ada function, so plus 1. So automatically fx must always be greater than 1. The horizontal asymptote is at y equal to 1. Understand? Okay, now we go to the second step. When x equal to 0, f0, the value of y will be e power of 0 plus 1. And careful, e0 is not 0, it is 1. So 1 plus 1, which is 2. Understand? We go to the third step. When x approaching positive infinity. When x approaching positive infinity, okay, kita tengok sini ya. As x approaching infinity, contohnya ya, e power of 2 1 million. So here, and then you pluskan dengan 1. Dapat berapa? The number will be too big. Okay, since the number will be very big, so the fx will be approaching to positive infinity. Do you understand that? Okay, fourth step, last step, when x approaching negative infinity, sub to negative 1 million then plus 1. What will you get? Yes, the number will be approaching to 1. Okay, dia takkan sampai pun 1, tapi dia hanya approaching. Okay, sebab ini dia approaching 0, tambah 1, jadi dia approaching to 1. So selesai all the 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we go to the sketching part. Alright, Okay, first step, the horizontal asymptote, y equal to 1. Okay, then the second step, when x 0, the value of y. Okay, and then the third step, as x approaching infinity, ke kanan, y will be approaching to positive infinity here. Understand? Then the last step, as x approaching negative infinity, ke kiri, y will be approaching to 1. Dia tak sampai pun, tapi dia akan menghampiri horizontal asymptote saja. Lebih kurang macam ni. Right? Okay, do you understand that? Now we go to the domain and range. The domain is from left to right. You check daripada left ke right. Most of the cases for indices or exponential, the domain will be negative infinity until positive infinity. Okay. Now for the range, refer pada dia punya horizontal asymptote. Tengok horizontal asymptote, bawah dia ke atas dia ada graf. Untuk case ini atas dia. Jadi dia start daripada open ya, sebab asymptote dia tak termasuk 1 to positive infinity. The function is y equals to 3 minus e to x exponential to x. Okay, we go the first step. Step 1 ya, atau first step sini. Okay, we find the horizontal asymptote. Okay, careful now ya. Di sini function dia tolak. Bila tolak, maksudnya kalau sebelum tadi dia tambah. Bila tambah, graf dia function dia akan sentiasa melebihi. Bila tolak, graf dia akan sentiasa kurang. Faham? Jadi bila first kali y equals to 3 minus e to x. Now since the minus, dia akan jadi kurang, dia tak jadi tambah. Untuk horizontal asymptote 3. Here 0. So 3 saja. Jadi horizontal asymptote dia adalah y equals to 3. Understand that step? Okay, we go to the second step. When x equal to 0, fx equals to 3 minus 1, which is 2. Understand? Okay. Now the third step, when x approaching positive infinity, contohnya ya, y equals to 3 minus e to power of 1 million. Right. You cuba kira, calculate yourself, calculator. Nombor yang e power of 2 infinity tu adalah satu nombor yang terlalu besar. Jadi bila 3 minuskan dengan nombor yang terlalu besar, the value of y atau fx will be approaching to negative infinity. Dia akan jadi nombor yang lagi kecil lah. Faham tak? Baik. Last step, step 4. When x approaching negative infinity. Okay. 3 minus e to negative infinity. Alright, you calculate yourself. Ya, ini sahaja dah menghampiri 0. Bila menghampiri 0, hanya tinggal 3. Jadi fx approaching to 3. Faham ke 4 step tu? Now we go to the sketching the graph. Alright. Now horizontal asymptote dia adalah y equals to 3. Understand? And then the value of y when x equals to 0 is 2. So around here. Okay. And then for the third step, when x approaching positive infinity, ke kanan ya, fx akan menghampiri negative. So around here. Okay, last sekali ke kiri, when x approaching negative infinity, fx akan menghampiri 3 tapi tak sentuh pun 3. Okay. So selesai graf. Do you understand that? Okay, now we go to the domain and range. Same. Domain negative infinity to infinity. The range, tengok horizontal asymptote dia, bawah ke atas ada graf bawah. Jadi dia akan start daripada negative infinity, habis di 3. Open. Faham? Y equals to 1 plus e power of negative to x. Right. First step. Okay, you tengok. Y equals to 1 plus ya, e negative to x. Bila plus dia jadi greater than. Horizontal asymptote dia. Okay. Sebabkan ini 0, so dia must be greater than 0. So y must always be greater than 1. Horizontal asymptote dia adalah y equals to 1. Okay, the second step, when x approach equal to 0, y equals to 1 plus e power of 0, which is 1 plus 1, 2. Understand? Baik. The third step, when x approaching positive infinity, y equals to 1 plus e negative 2 times 1 million. Okay. So you cuba calculate yourself. E negative infinity itu dia akan jadi menghampiri itu 0, betul tak? Jadi bila 0 tambahkan dengan 1, so fx akan approaching to 1. Faham? And then the last step, when x approaching negative infinity, y equals to 1 plus e negative 2, negative balik. Bila negatif 2 kali dia jadi positif. So ini sahaja dah menghampiri ke positif infinity. Terlalu besar. Tambahkan dengan 1 masih sama. Jadi fx akan menghampiri itu positive infinity. Do you understand that? Okay, now we go to the sketching graph. Okay, the horizontal asymptote dia 1. Okay, and then y when x equals to 0, y equals to 2. Ke kanan nilai dia menghampiri 1 here. Ke kiri nilai dia naik ke atas, positive infinity. Understand? So the domain will be negative infinity to positive infinity. The range will be, tengok graph dan horizontal asymptote 1 to infinity. Faham?